Hey guys, it's Vanessa, and today we're doing something a little out of the ordinary for our podcast. Our guest today is Adam Foster. He's a content creator and storyteller from Charleston. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
Would you agree? Okay.
Yeah.
He's built a very strong following by being honest about his addiction, his recovery, and what it really looks like to rebuild your life. Adam's story isn't about perfection, it's about progress, about the moments that break you, the ones that wake you up, and the work that it takes every day after that. We're talking about where he came from, what addiction took from him, and what recovery gave back, and how sharing his story publicly has helped him both and others along the way. This episode may hit close to home for some folks. Addiction doesn't often just affect one person. It touches families, friends, and whole communities. Adam's story is his of his own, but parts of it may sound familiar to many of us here in Appalachia. So if you want like a loose roadmap to what the story is going to look like, we're going to talk about before addiction, the turning point, maybe rock bottom, what that looked like for Adam, recovery, and using his platform, and the advice and hope that he has for the future for his listeners and followers. Sound good to you, Adam?
Yeah.
All right. So in your own words, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Adam Foster. I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. I was born and raised in a holler. I was born and raised in a family that started off as alcoholics. My mom was a criminal. My first part of my life, all I seen was the bars and them just living their best life, you would say, at the time.
Absolutely. I can relate.
My dad was an alcoholic and a womanizer. My mom was a criminal and a very hard woman that was raised with a bunch of brothers. I think she had 6 brothers, and she was the oldest sister. Times was what they was in Appalachia. You know, growing up in a holler, you didn't have much, you wasn't going to be much, and there was never much else but the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It becomes the narrative for most of us just to live that life because that's what we've known. That's how we was raised. Born around it, it becomes what it is. You know, when you go out in these other communities and see how people live, you can't understand it.
Yeah, it's culture shock, that like in an opposite way of what people are used to.
The culture shock is that you're like, you see this stuff on TV that's being glamorized or glorified, and you don't understand it until I didn't understand it until I got older. Like, it wasn't real to me. You know, you went to school, you got to see these other kids living well. Well, y'all never was friends really because you couldn't relate to these people. You know, you couldn't be the rich kid or the cool kid or just the kid that had everything. You know,
something that I often reflect on is I didn't get the opportunity even to be the kid that played the sports because I didn't have parents that could get me, you know, to the practices or to the games and all that. And it's little things that you don't think about that you miss out on.
Yeah, that was the one thing that growing up in the holler we did play. You know, I was actually a 3-sport all-star all the way until my
that's awesome.
happened. And I started getting high. I think I was 12 or 13. And it's when it started falling apart, when I was getting high, like on major drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I started dibble-dabbling literally probably when I was 10 or 11.
Wow, you were young.
Yeah. Like, I remember being in 4th grade and huffing glue in school.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then we had Elmer's glue and stuff. The cement, the rubber cement.
The rubber cement in the brownish orange bottle.
That'd make your head high.
Mm-hmm.
Almost make you pass out. The VCR cleaner. You know, there was stuff we found to get high on.
I forgot about the VCR cleaner.
Like, duster.
Yes.
Some whippets.
I was going to say, doing the bread bag with the spray paint.
Oh, yeah. Huff it all. Gasoline, being in the holler, the gasoline was the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it would fry brain cells. Like, still this day, I've got friends that's still messed up off huffing gas with those kids.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the weed started because it became more prevalent. We was getting older. You could get to it. Everybody's parents had a bottle of Jack, Jim, George,
laying around.
Johnny, something.
Always.
Yeah, something in the cabinet. So you would start drinking liquor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would fill it up with water until you got caught.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. My decisions that I made around those ages are the reasons that I'm the strict parent that I am today.
I just had a talk with my cousins next door. They fighting. Great kids. And I ain't gonna say nothing about this. And they've grown up in Holler, but it's changed. The narrative has changed.
Right.
In our little 1 mile long Holler now, everybody's either family knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin's kids is who it is, and they're at the beach, her and her husband. And I just had to have a whole moment with them the other day because while they was at the beach, these little girls was up there fighting and fighting other girls from another holler. And I had to sit down and explain to them. I was like, you live in the house where I made the first decision right out front that changed my life, that I'm still paying for.
Yeah.
I was like, I started stealing stuff right outside. And, it hit home for them. They was crying about it because I was like, you don't realize y'all's 12, 13, 14 years old. The decisions you're making right now, you're going to pay for it the rest of your life if you make the wrong decisions.
100%.
And I absolutely have. And I was like, in the driveway outside, it's the first place I got arrested. They never knew none of this.
Right.
They just know, I wasn't around for so many years from being in prison to me coming home now and things being different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a couple-hour long conversation with them. And then my cousin came home and was like, I don't know what you said to my kids. She was like, but they look at you completely different.
Right, right.
And put you on a pedestal. And I was like, I didn't do it for that. I did it for trying to let them understand.
Give them a warning, yeah.
Right now.
This is what life can look like if you don't make the better choices. 100%. Yeah. Man, and those are tough to have. We, at Christmas, were talking to my niece and her boyfriend, and we had previously been at a Marshall game, and her boyfriend, yes, go Herd. So they were just, and they're not of age to drink yet, and I know kids drink. I'm not Karen over here. I'm not like, don't have any fun, don't do anything, but I noticed that they were starting to party a little bit more than they're normal, and I'm like, running into you guys at the game, like,
now you're chasing fun.
Yeah, and I said, I love you guys, and I always want you to have fun. I want you to have fun responsibly. I said, but you're starting to worry me. I said, because it takes that one wrong move, that leaving the ball game and thinking you're okay, killing somebody on your way home, killing yourself on the way home, or there's just so many things that can happen from point A to point B, or just getting into an altercation at the football game because someone don't realize how drunk you are, said the wrong thing.
Football games was where all of it started. Everybody went to games.
Yep.
Friday Night Lights,
Yep.
everybody was meeting and then figuring out where sneaking off to afterwards.
But yeah, those are tough conversations to have with the younger kids, but it's so important, and I don't feel like it's a burden on us as the older cousins or, uncles, aunts, whatever, but you do have to have those tough conversations to help change that, I can't even think of the best word for it, that outcome that they could possibly have by making that one wrong decision at such a young age,
It's hard to get them to grasp it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get anybody to grasp that that's not had life experience.
Exactly.
Because your brain don't register the same.
It really doesn't. It doesn't. And still, I'm 40 years old, and I still struggle with, God, this fucking sucks. I want to go have a drink. But I know what that leads to if that's my go-to every time.
If that's your vice that brings you down. Like,
yep.
Everybody in the world, really, it seems now, whether it be your phone, alcohol, heroin, meth, ice, you can name all the drugs, but then you got to get down to people's hooked to their phones more now than anything.
They really are.
And it's you're living in a world of addiction and won't admit it. That you're how many people you see don't have a phone in their hand when they're walking around?
Right. And I was looking around last night while we were at dinner. There wasn't a person at a dinner table, and they're surrounded by their families and their friends, having their New Year's Eve dinner, and everybody's got their phones out. And I look around my table, my daughter, her friend's got her phone, my husband has his phone out. It's like as soon as we get that 2 or 3 seconds of nothing going on, pick up the phone, open up Facebook, open up Snapchat, open up TikTok, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which it's nice that we have that entertainment at our fingertips, but I do believe 100% that
it's creating an addiction.
Many people are very addicted to their.
People don't want to admit that, but it's, you know, if you're drinking pot, like drinking tea, the caffeine, the sugar, you know, the addiction is hit, and people not being able to accept the fact that that's just what America is feeding us right now.
100%.
You know, how would a holler boy from Dry Branch be able to be a content creator just off making the dumb stuff I do and keeping a few 100,000 people a month entertained? Like,
right.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Because they've created a lifestyle that made that
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know, what's intriguing to me about Appalachia specifically, a lot of our people that are in recovery from whatever their vice may be, they do take to social media to share their story because, and again, this is a personal view, you don't get the support that you need from your immediate friends and family. They love you and they're happy for you.
That's because you pushed them to the point of it.
That's exactly.
And like how many times are you going to relapse before what you're saying is true?
Exactly. So they turn to social media and then they get this somewhat of some fame. There's one content creator I'm thinking of specifically. I don't want to say her name or anything, but she got very, very popular, and it took one wrong turn, one wrong comment that she said about another content creator, and everybody turned on her. And within a week, she was dead. She overdosed. She relapsed, and that's scary for me because, I think for everyone, because it just takes that one letdown.
See, I never did it for
to
that. I think
turn it around.
It was never. You know, in the beginning, there wasn't but a few hundred people on my Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just started telling a story, I think, to get it out of my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of them don't do it for that. They're doing it seeking the attention, you know, and then you get hooked on the attention.
That's exactly what happened to her.
I myself, too, like, a lot of times I get on their event, and I'm dealing with... my daughter lives with her aunt, and she's upset with me right now because she feels like I'm seeking likes or comments. And I just tried to have a whole conversation with her. It was like, it's not even about that. Like, sometimes it's just about trying to get it out of my head. Having
a place to vent, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's been my journal, basically.
Yeah.
And I go back and forth, like, telling dumb jokes. You've seen it. Like, it's basically, like, sometimes it's like the Robin Williams effect to me. Like,
yeah.
I want everybody else to laugh because inside I'm dying.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel that 100%.
Yeah. And I don't create it because to me that's the realest thing. Everybody's going through that now. If you can't laugh one moment, cry the next, and realize where you're at, and still know that you got to draw your lines in life.
Right.
Then everything you do is going to be just the same circle.
Yeah. A vicious cycle that doesn't ever end. You're right. When things shifted from just use to addiction, did you realize it, or was it too late after the fact for you?
Well, I sold drugs from the time I was probably 13 till I got locked up at 15. I got juvenile life for wanting to be out in the streets all the time, stealing a bunch of guns. Just like I said, I took
getting up to no good.
Yeah, Google Maps just took me to one of my old gun dealers' house here. And had to go. I got locked up till I was almost 19.
Oh wow!
And when I got out, you know, and it was just against family. And when I get out, I felt like I changed, but the family, you know,
nothing had changed back home.
No, it didn't. And my dad was with a new woman, and I think I was there probably a month before they decided to kick me out. So my choice again.
Got to get by.
Stole everything that her and my dad had, and I threw most of it in the river. Yeah, it says, and this was
fuck you guys.
In fact, I threw like $70,000 worth of their stuff in the river, and then I jumped in the river behind it, March, and almost froze to death.
Yeah.
swim miles down the river. It took them days to catch me. But the only thing I kept was the guns because I knew where to get rid of them. So, and they ended up catching me a few days later with guns. And by this time, I ended up making bond. And it took me a few months. And then I ended up, this time I don't have nowhere to stay. I'm 19, 20, I'm going probably 20. Yeah, it was probably right after my 20th birthday. And I get out then, nothing. I don't have nothing.
Right.
None of the clothes. I got this big while I was locked up. I went in 6 foot or so. By the time I come home at 18, I'm 6'6", 265 pounds. I've been big since I was, young. But I don't have nothing. I don't have no clothes. I don't have no family. I don't have no money. I don't have no people.
Yeah.
So, right around my 19th, 20th birthday, I started living in the projects because the only person I knew was like an extended cousin. And I started sleeping on her couch. Well, I'd already experienced being locked up and knew what some of the hardships was.
Yeah.
And then the mentality hit. That's when the mentality hit, about 20 years old. And I got shot then. I was stabbed in. I'm talking in the Washington Manor in Charleston. Before they changed it, it was still, really white people wasn't allowed over there. So I immediately started having to carry a gun. And, you start seeing dead bodies literally within weeks of being in this place.
Yeah.
I got a bullet hole in my kneecap. I got a bullet hole in my hip, and I got one in my back.
Goodness gracious.
In this little year time span over there. So, yeah, that was exactly when it changed because it went from living a holler life to going, getting locked up to coming home to really having to be in the streets.
Yeah.
And childhood trauma will feed right into it, so I became ruthless.
Yep.
I became the one thing that life was teaching me how to do, and I didn't want to die, and that's where it was at.
That's the scariest part, I think, for me. And my listeners don't know a whole lot. They know that I come from like a background that was hard and things like that, but I don't really share a whole lot of details. I share a little bit more on social media than I probably should. But I'm with you in the sense of if it helps literally one person, me being vulnerable and opening up, that it was worth it. You know,
absolutely. That's I there at 20, like I never realized I would make it this far.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm on bonus time because I knew right at that moment. The moment you're talking about is, I remember being in, and she ended up moving out, and I ended up being in an apartment alone, and I knew I was going to get kicked out then too.
Right.
So then it went to being homeless, and I met my child's mother this time.
Okay.
She ended up getting pregnant, and the girl loved me, and I wasn't a bad person, but I was ruthless on the streets. And, the things I did then, people still see me out and know, like,
right.
And it transcended. And I ended up going to jail over all the guns and doing a year, meeting new people, meeting new plugs, learning how to navigate the streets even better.
Right.
Come back. Go right back to the streets, and by this time I had a kid when I come home. My dad and them tried to help a little bit then. By this time, I don't know. I'm already 22, 23, 24 years old,
and you've burnt bridges along the way.
Oh, yeah, and I'm a convicted felon.
Right.
Everybody that knows me knows that I was like a bad person out there on the streets, and all I did was sell drugs, rob people, and
yep.
Just
one of those people can't trust. Where everybody says can't trust them as far as you can throw them.
Yeah, I'm a big boy. So right. So it became, what do you do to survive? Because then I had a kid. And
it wasn't just you anymore.
Yeah, and all in your head was survive. And the good thing about Appalachia is that it teaches you to be resourceful.
It absolutely does.
The bad thing about Appalachia is that if you're on the streets of Appalachia, resourcefulness becomes,
it's a dirty game.
You're going to live or you're going to die here.
Yeah.
And if you choose the addiction, and then right in there somewhere, about 24, 25 is when I started selling pills.
Okay.
I sold cocaine, sold crack, sold anything I get my hands on. I don't care. I would sell
Right.
anything. Don't matter, whatever make money.
Just, as I was going to say, whatever was making money.
Yeah. I kept a few $1,000s on me at all times just in case something I could buy and make money off.
Yeah.
Cars, drugs.
Just hustling.
Guns. Yeah. Just the hustler's ambition.
Yep.
You know. That's the street life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's the everyday effect of growing up in the streets. It don't matter. It can be Appalachia, but the thing about the Appalachian area is that we know different types of resourcefulness.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go to these streets in other cities, because now I've done bounce cities and everything. I've been from Florida all the way to New York to Detroit, all in this time.
Yeah.
And what it taught us down here was resourcefulness, is that they don't have in these cities.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't understand the type of, like, well, we're going to get it today, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And, you know, once the pills hit, because, you know, that's what it was, Oxy 80s then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I started with. And I was selling them, and I was with a girl at the time. Not my baby's mama. I done ruined that relationship. Started becoming
that bridge was burned.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I tried to see my son, and like me and him's best friends now. But he'll tell you it's been a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
But to realize, like, I thought the pill game was just, he was on top of the world.
Yeah.
Because when that
I think everybody did that was involved.
Yeah. When you was in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
I went from having to dibble dabble and sell all this stuff to now I found one drug. And Huntington, we come down here to Huntington.
That everybody wants.
Yeah. And all the Detroit boys started showing up. Well, I'd already made such a name on the streets, people started coming to me.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't have to work as hard anymore.
No, I didn't. There wasn't even other drugs to be sold.
Yeah.
We bought weed just to smoke.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, you know, to party. And then this girl that worked at Hooters, and I just went in the post I made with the girl in the hospital bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my addiction with.
Oh,
She's
okay.
about to die. And she's in Pittsburgh. I work in Pittsburgh, so I just
Mm-hmm.
seen her the other day. We started our addiction together. And she had something happen to her, a little surgery, minor surgery, and they gave her some like Percocet 5s. Well, we're just eating these pills, and I've been selling 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't touched them yet. Because this time I'm not being an addict. I just need
Just on the grind,
yeah,
right?
Just on the grind. And then when me and her, she starts doing them things. I'm looking one of these days. I'm like, man, I think these are the same thing. They are and aren't, you know.
Right.
They're oxycodone, oxycontin.
Right.
And so I'm reading it up. It's a derivative, yada. So I'm like, all right, well, how do we do these?
Yeah.
And that was the start. Yeah, that was the start. That was around 2008, 2007, 2008.
So at that point in time, I'm trying to think, I had lost, at that point in time, 5 people from my graduating class already at that point, because they had hit so bad here that people were just dropping left and right. And
yeah, they hit up our way, but I was just in jail. And then when I come home, that's when.
Yeah.
And you're 40, you said?
Yeah.
I'm 41, be 42 in a few weeks, and we've counted up, I don't even know.
I don't know what the count is anymore. I tried to count it up. We had our 20-year reunion and recently.
It's to count who's alive.
That's exactly it. And, you know, there's a girlfriend of mine, and I'm sure you've experienced this, I'm sure, but with many people. We were best friends all through school, probably like 5th grade up until, well, I mean, we always knew each other, but you really bond at that 5th, 6th grade level, you know. But we were friends all the way up, and I can go through the line where she works at here in Huntington, and she'll just look right through me like she doesn't even know me, and I'm like, this is the person that my mom and dad, you know, took us to get Olin Mills pictures made together, because we were that tight. Like we were those, we were those girls, you know. Yeah. We went everywhere with each other's families. We were both like basically adopted by the other family, and it still, like, every single time, and my husband, I think he gets tired of hearing it, but I'm like, it just breaks my heart every time, because I just want to be like, I still love you. Like, I know that you are down, and I don't know if it's she's ashamed of, like, the life she's lived and the life she's still living, or if she truly just has no idea who I am anymore.
I've got friends right now that somebody I was with last night who refused to speak to me while I was getting high. And now, like, you couldn't separate us.
Right.
So I know the feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I was the guy on where she's at, looking at people that, like, really cared about me. And they was the only ones willing to tell me when I was fucking up.
Yeah.
Even when it was chaos and mayhem, and they was willing to look me in the face and be like, nope, that ain't the way. Like, you, I just really don't want you around anymore. The stuff you're doing, that's not on that time. And I didn't even know anybody knew. This was just the time I relapsed. But I was with some of them last night, and they're like brothers. But like a brother, they told me when I was fucking up. Yeah,
and you have to have that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to have it.
You're going to end up that content creator that's looking for stuff that after one little thing is going to be the next person you read about dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it really is.
Definitely heartbreaking.
It's fucking, like, I was telling you before we started recording, I'm so thankful that I have the strength and the tools that, you know, my aunts, my mother, their mother, my grandmother, they weren't given. Because in Appalachia, you know, it's pull yourself up by the bootstraps, move on, get the fuck over it. Like, it's hard for everybody. So they weren't given those tools to talk out loud about the hardships and the trauma and all that. So I'm thankful that I have found those tools, and a lot of my jobs in mental health and prevention and recovery have facilitated that. I don't know that if I ever hadn't worked in those fields that I would have the strength to know, it's probably not the best idea to run to the bar every time there's a slight inconvenience, you know, I know I don't want to try certain things because I saw what they did to my family, and I'm like, they liked it. They liked it a lot. And what if I do too, you know? Yeah. It's that fear. So I'm thankful.
Well, I think the point there was, though, is it's the drugs aren't the problem.
Oh, yeah. It's you.
It's what are we using the drugs for? What
are we escaping?
Yeah, like, drugs was the answer. Mm-hmm. Drugs was the way out. You know, and that's what a lot of them are not facing. Like, you know, you're running from something. Mm-hmm. There's only one thing you start, and even if you start it for fun, well, then what is it? Why did you need to have fun? Why
in that way?
Yeah, the why in there is what a lot of people can't answer even with themselves. It takes so much digging. That's where
a lot of self-work.
A lot of the help is not had.
Yes.
That's where you don't know your self-worth. People are down. Like, relationships are at all-time craziness right now. Girls think men are soft, and we think women are just objects and just possessions and not. And it all stems from, you know, and a lot of people get depressed instead of getting high. Like, and
relatable.
It's
100%.
It's Appalachia.
It really is. It really is. And that's why I think it's so important for you to share your story with us today, because I think a lot of people, because a lot of my listeners are, you know, from here but have moved away, and they want to keep tabs on, you know, what's still going on at home. And
in the mountains.
What's going on in the mountains. So
there's something in the water.
Yeah. and you know, the thing is, there's such a big gap in getting people the help that they need that we're almost, without saying it, we're like, let's see how many of them can die before we help a few of them.
Well, even now, their answer is Suboxone and rehab. Mm-hmm. When in all reality, you're still not treating what the problem was.
Right.
You're not dealing with the addiction. You're actually keeping the addiction going and making money off of it.
Right, exactly. And another thing that I really hate about the recovery, a lot of the recovery programs that kind of inundated Huntington there for a while, a lot of them have been ran out of town because of their bad practices and things like that. But a lot of them seem to want to replace the drugs or, like whatever their vice was with religion.
It has to be faith. Yeah, that's and I'm not down on any of it. It's a great way to live, wonderful life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think you can substitute one thing for another and make it okay, I don't care if you're substituting one drug for another or one drug for a faith, you're still not giving that person the chance to deal with what's going on.
Exactly.
It's just, well, I'm just going to believe in Jesus now, and I'm not going to get high anymore. And it might work for a while.
It might, but then they get that inconvenience. God failed me, so what am I going to go back to?
Oh, yes. And God didn't fail you. You failed yourself. You should have known that. I'm not saying that, and this is my point of view too, because I told you, I've been around all these rehab places. I still deal with a lot of them. I still send people there. Sometimes that's the first step in the route.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that religion should have anything to do with it. I think they should make it all about the mental state, why you're chasing it, what's going on, and dealing with it. Now, if you choose to
have the religion too,
yes, let them make that choice instead of saying, because when they first started down in Huntington, you couldn't even get in. You had to be, had to go to church, you had to do this, or you can't even come to the program.
All right. Yep.
So it was the forcefulness of it. And if you're telling an addict, trying to force an addict, the first thing you're going to get is a brick wall. Bam.
Absolutely.
Because that's all they've had their whole life. And you're going to keep hitting that wall.
Yep.
And they're going to sit on the other side and be like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Instead of putting a door in that wall and opening it up and being like, this can be the way.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this? How can I help you help yourself,
Yeah. And we got religious programs, and we got faith, or however they want to say it. But instead, it became the commodity.
Yep. 100%.
And you see how it failed and failed and failed for so long because they wasn't treating the problem. They
Right.
wasn't treating the addict. They wasn't treating the addiction.
You're right.
Monopolizing.
And what's crazy to me is I recently went to a baptism of someone who has they're in active recovery. I think they're going on like 7 or 8 months, and
That's the hardest point.
and they had asked everyone to please come support me. I'm getting baptized. Yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, so I make this drive out in BFE, and I'm like, there's no cell phone service. I'm surrounded by people that I don't know. And, a church full of people that are in different states of their sobriety journey that you don't know their background. You don't know if they're going to relapse. You don't know if they're in the room and they're like, well, fuck all these people. Like, there's no cell phone service. I'll rob them all, Yeah. You don't know
it
what.
Cross one of them's their mind.
Yeah. You don't know what you're in the room with. So I'm like, okay, well, here we are, and he gets baptized and all that, and it's like suddenly they all wanted baptized because that was his answer, and he felt good, And I was just like, man. And then the preacher comes up. The preacher comes up and starts preaching, and again, this is a very country church, and starts talking about specifically, those Gothic people, they hate the Lord. They love the devil. That's why they wear the black and bull. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. If this is what this room full of people is seeing as the answer, they're bound to fall apart. This is not substantial. They're going to go out into the world with their hearts full of hate because someone's wearing black.
Instead of my dad didn't go to church still, and I go over, and sometimes I go with him. And it's not my way, but they don't preach the fire and damnation.
Right.
You're supposed to love everybody. Putting Jesus' words, he would rather have 99 criminals than one person ain't never done it. He wants the bad. They all went to jail, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I would guarantee it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I would guarantee it. It's probably how they all met.
So it becomes one of them things to where you're feeding the wrong part of the brain.
Yeah.
The wrong stimulation.
I literally wanted to, the preacher had come up after the service, and I guess he had kind of noticed me probably rolling my eyes because I can't hide my emotion at all. I don't even try. So he came up and he said, sister, did you enjoy the sermon, blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to be supportive because I'm in the row surrounded by, all these people in recovery, and I didn't want to trigger anything in them, but I just wanted to grab him by the shoulders and be like, how fucking dare you have this audience and you bring up any sense of hate verbiage at all. Like what you sound like such an asshole, but I'm like, what made you, as a preacher, someone who has, supposedly been called to the Lord to help save people, but you wanted to bring up, these Gothic people, they hate the Lord, they love the devil. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, this is not Christianity. This is not...
And the devil speaks with a forked tongue, right?
I mean, I couldn't get out of that place fast enough. Yeah. I could not.
I went to Christian school and everything.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spent well in there. Yeah, so I can quote it.
We have an ongoing joke with... I won't go too far, but my husband and I, with some people that he's very close to, they went to the local Grace Christian here in Huntington, and almost all of them have been in and out of jail, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, their parents paid for this higher education, with the gospel and everything else. I said, but it was a worse place. There was more availability of them getting their hands on the bad stuff than what there was in the normal high schools. Yeah. Because a lot of them are affluent. They have the money. The parents are away. The access, The
money's the thing always.
Yes.
I mean, they say it's the root of all evil for a reason. But, you can't survive without it. The fine line has to be there. But when you're young and you're able to get your hands on money,
you're untouchable.
It creates a whole different level of... Because you can sneak this way, that way, and this way, and people don't notice because you're just a kid.
And they don't notice. But then when it becomes a problem, suddenly the parents don't want to look bad. The family doesn't want to look bad, so they sweep it under the rug. They fix the problem. They pay it to go away, and that enables it worse. And it's like, instead of stepping in and being like, what is it that my kid's escaping, they're just like, oh, it's okay, honey, just keep going.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's fine. Let me get you a new car once you wrap that one around the light pole last weekend, partying with your friends, even though you're 17. Let's just get you a new car and send you on your way.
It happens.
Yeah.
Our school wasn't as prevalent with, the higher... I went to DuPont, then Riverside. Okay. And there wasn't a lot of money there. There were some kids that had vehicles, when we was young and stuff, but it wasn't... the money wasn't like when I started experiencing the other schools and going to places, and once I come back home at 18, 19 and be around these other places, and I was like, these other kids got money. Like, we started running up down the valley selling weed because that's right. All the other schools had all, like, man, they got money. They got money. Yeah. Like, they got money to spend, and I'm ready to take it. Yeah. Buy me one of their cars they got.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Who or what made for you recovery unavoidable? What was it in you that, or what stopped you in your tracks to say, like, this is not the life for me anymore?
Well, I can almost January 27th of last year. So I'm getting ready to hit my 2-year mark.
Okay. Congratulations.
I went to the hospital. I was dying, and I knew it. I had fluid building up on me bad. Like, I probably weighed 210 pounds at the time.
Jeez.
But I was over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, I was blowed up like this.
Yeah.
Looked like I was pregnant. I was big. And I went to the hospital and checked myself in that night. And I was on the run. I had a warrant. It was probably just a way to dodge a warrant too at the time, but I knew I was messed up too.
Yeah.
And my dad talked me into going and dropped me off over there. And I was sitting outside smoking heroin right then. I didn't collapse all my veins. I had been able to shoot up in over a year because I've collapsed everything in my body. Everything but my neck, and I could never hit.
Yeah.
So I just started smoking it. So I'm sitting outside the hospital smoking heroin. They finally take me upstairs. Well, as soon as they start running my vitals and stuff, they was like, you're going to ICU right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And I was like, all right. So then I'm like, I'm about to be dope sick up here because hospitals ain't about.
No.
They don't care if you're dope sick or not.
Nope.
Well, they take me upstairs and get me naked. Start checking me, like, because I'm bad swelling.
Yeah.
I can't even, my feet are so big, I'm wearing sandals and barely fitting them,
Yeah.
And so they get me naked, start cleaning me up, check me. They're they're trying to find a vein. They can't.
Yeah.
They got to get a center machine. Well, then somebody gets shot with a gun. They leave me wide open, door wide open, and I just walked out. They had all my stuff. I went to the nurse's desk and got all my stuff because I knew my heroin was in it, and left. So I left that day, and I made it about another 2 weeks. And the warrant finally caught up with me, and by this time I'm messed up.
Yeah.
I can't hardly walk. Like, I'm still in cars just to get place to place.
Right.
Well, I drop one of the cars off, start walking. I don't make it 100 yards. Sheriff sees me, it knows me. Shout out to him. I won't say his name, but he's a local Kanawha County sheriff, and he's a training officer now. But he picks me up and was like, what I didn't know, his wife worked at the hospital. And he was like, I heard you was about to die. And I was like,
where'd you hear that? Yeah.
I didn't find out until a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Still, how he found out.
Yeah.
My cousin lives next door to me, and her work together.
Okay.
They all worked hospital. Nobody tells me this till a few months ago. But he was like, I heard you was about to die. And he's like, it looks like it.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to give you 2 options. He was like, I'm going to take you to your dad's house, and I'm going to give you 24 hours, and I'm going to be back tomorrow. And he was like, if you ain't in the hospital, I'm going to arrest you. And he was like, and you're going to die in jail. He's like, because you're about to die right now. He's like,
and you're not getting the help you need in the jail.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
No, this done went through it. Done come down out there, done overdose out there, done died out there, done.
Yep.
The detox pods at regionals was started because me and a guy went in so high. He died, and I fell out.
Goodness.
And his family sued, and within months they started the detox pods. I'd have to go back and look, tell you exactly when it was, but yeah, it was me and another guy. But we get to my dad's, and I'm like, he calls in and tells his shift officer, he was like, I'm not arresting him, and sent him a picture of me. He's like, I can't even get handcuffs on him.
Right, so swollen. Yeah.
Couldn't put cuffs on me, couldn't put shackles on me. He was like, or we can come up here and get him tomorrow. He was like, he can't even hardly walk.
Yeah.
This was the night before Valentine's Day. And I was like, my dad hadn't seen me since I walked out of the hospital. You know, it's been a couple weeks already, almost 3 weeks. And, it's 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. The sheriff's got a knock on my dad's door. My dad's, almost 70. And wake my dad up and told him. And I wouldn't allow my dad's house.
Yeah.
Because of how nasty I was living, how dirty I was. But this time I'd been on the streets for a minute. They got me multiple murders they blamed on me. It was just a very bad time.
Trying to get things stuck, see what would stick, throw it and see what sticks.
Yeah. And so when I get there, Dad's like, he can't come in here. And Jersey was like, he asked him, he was like, give him 24 hours until I'm asking. And he was like, and if he leaves your house without going to the hospital, he's like, you call me, I'll drive straight back up here.
Yeah.
Even if I ain't on duty, I'll get in my car, I'll come get him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. So, Valentine's Day, the next day, I made a choice. It was time to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And just, I didn't know I was giving my addiction up. Still,
yeah.
I knew I was dying.
All right.
Like, I already knew I was dying. And I'd had a heart attack somewhere in them few days.
Goodness gracious.
So by the time I get back to the hospital that next night, I went in, I had 3 types of pneumonia, flu B, hepatitis C, I'd had a heart attack, I had endocarditis, and I had a little over 100 pounds of fluid on me. So when I landed, and I went to the east end instead of Kanawha City this time. And when I went down to the east end of Charleston, which is Memorial or General, one of them's Memorial, one of them's General. I always get them mixed up.
I do too.
And I hated both these hospitals because they suck.
They absolutely do.
But they immediately, as soon as they see me, same thing. They was like, you're going upstairs to, they call it the death unit, 7th floor. You're going upstairs to die. Then like the main doctor come in. I'm still in the emergency room downstairs. Well, right before that cop had arrested me, I traded that car for a bag of heroin big enough to kill myself. So when I got to the hospital...
You're trying to go out without any pain.
Yes, I was.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, you're going to have an hour or two for anybody's in here. So as soon as they leave, I start trying to overdose myself.
Mm-hmm.
The nurse comes back in about 10 minutes later to tell me my son's there. Catches me with the dope, getting
Yeah.
And I got enough. I probably had a half ounce or maybe an ounce of heroin on me. I had enough. I was going to prison for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And my condition wouldn't be long anyway, but
Right.
I was going. It was a life sentence.
Yeah.
Because of my history, my past. And she was like, I'm going to give you one chance. She was like, you can either give me everything you got on me. She was like, and when I get back, you're going to have to make a choice whether you're going to die in jail or you're going to help yourself.
Yeah.
And my son came in, and he hadn't talked to me in 2 or 3 years. But he's 19, 20 at the time.
Yeah.
And he come in and just looked at me and shook his head. And he was like, this is how you're going to go out? This is what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah,
That's
it's a hard
that's real
situation.
tough. Yeah.
And he sat and talked to me for a few minutes, but he was like, I can't see you like this. He was like, you look like shit. The nurse just told us that you're, and they hadn't even told me yet, but the nurses told them, like I guess my family, that I needed to make a will.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to make it more than 5 or 7 days. No matter what they did, I'll be dead by the end of the week.
Right.
And then she come back in and told me, right then I made the choice.
Yeah. You're ready to live again.
Yeah, so, oh God, it was, I think it was 2 months, 3 months in the hospital. And on that floor, the death floor, almost the whole time.
Goodness gracious.
I didn't move off it until, like, the last month. And I didn't have none of the surgeries. I refused all the surgeries. I refused everything. Something in my head just kept telling me, keep fighting, keep fighting.
Yeah.
And I just kept fighting. 4 out of the 6 roommates I had died right beside me. Because that's just how...
That's how the floor rolled. Yeah.
It's just the floor you're on. That's what's going on. That's what's going to happen to you. That's what you've got to look forward to. And then, like, the last 2 weeks, they finally moved me down to, like, the regular ICU or...
Right.
Just... you might make it.
Yeah.
And then when they finally decided to kick me out, or, just discharge me.
Yeah.
They come in and told me. He was like, I had 8% heart function. My fraction value was at 8%. He was like, we couldn't even done the surgeries if we wanted to, because if we put you under, you wouldn't have woke up.
Right.
And that stayed all the way until, like, April of this year. Like, I just got...
Wow.
Yeah, fought the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think when I got out of the hospital, I was probably 200 pounds, 206 pounds. So they said they took 109 pounds of water off of me. And don't eat salt. The doctor gave me the whole thing. He was like, but more than anything, he was like, I ain't going to tell you that relapsing will kill you the first time. He's like, but I'm not going to tell you it's not.
Right.
He was like, your heart's so bad. He was like, if you relapse, you're going to die. And he was like, if you make it more than a week getting high, he was like, I'm going to call it a miracle. And he was like, you're a walking miracle right now because you should have never been here.
And honestly, like, thank God for someone speaking that truth to you, because a lot of people tiptoe about addiction.
He stepped all of my feelings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I can't lie. He was the realest doctor I'd had sit down with me, and he just sat down nonchalantly and told me.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you're going to be dead. And just told all, hey, good to see you, got left.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, just shock and awe on how for real it was. But he was the same one that come in and told me. He was like, yeah, you got to make a will. And he was the one I broke down to. I think is why he come in and told me that. Because when he told me that, I was like, I don't have nothing but heartaches and chaos to lead people.
Right.
I was like, I can't go out like this. Like,
yeah.
I was just...
Got a lot of wrongs to make right.
Yeah. I've been making amends since. Yeah. Everything from robbing preachers to... Like, I can say so much stuff, and they're probably going to listen to it. I was at a funeral. One of my friends, like you said, I've known my whole life. His dad's a preacher. My dad is in the church, and another one of their real good friends. Like, I'd stole a bunch of stuff. But the police couldn't hardly catch me doing nothing.
Right.
But when I seen him, I broke down. I'd been sober about a year at the time, but I hadn't seen him yet.
Right.
I seen him at the funeral. It broke down. Yeah, it broke down on him, and he was like, "Oh, I knew." He was like, "But you coming to me the way you have, and sober, and like just making amends everywhere. Back to being good graces with all of them. Talk to everybody. They check on me all the time. Like, yeah, it's definitely." That was definitely the point.
Yeah.
And the whole past year, but that moment was being told I was going to die and relapse and seeing my son right now in about a minute.
Right.
I was going out. I was going to kill myself. I didn't want nobody to see me like that. I done burned every bridge.
Yeah.
None of the family was there. None of them was going to come. I done pushed me to the point like it's just another happening.
Exactly.
I'm either finally going in the grave or I'm going back to jail. That's
the story.
Since
right.
15 years old. So.
I get that. That's again. I think a lot of our listeners, especially our younger generations, are really going to relate to this, and then I think some of our older ones are going to see a side that they didn't know was real. Because you always hear like, we do recover, we get better, we become who we were before the addiction, yada yada yada. But a lot of people, you change so much. Yeah, but I think a lot of them have never got to hear the story or see it in a real sense from a real human that they can, look up on social media or get to know. So I'm hoping with this episode that people see that, it is true. It's not just a slogan. When someone wants it bad enough and they get sick enough of themselves and they want to make it happen, they can make it happen. You talked a little bit about, the officer, the sheriff who kind of saved you. Is there anybody else that you feel like was and I love that it was a law enforcement. I really do love that. And I love that. I love that. Because, we were talking before we started recording that sometimes addicts get lost in the mix of, people just assume they're these zombies that, they're going to die one day or another, So what's the point? And there is a point. There's a point that these are still humans, and they weren't given the tools that they needed to overcome that trauma. And I live that every day. I make the decision every day, and I'm not in recovery, but I know that addiction is so heavy in my family on both sides that it keeps me in line. It makes me not want to test the waters.
When you don't have that, I think it was just a shock and awe to me. Like, finally, what hit it was just, I broke. I really finally broke.
Yeah.
Like, you hear people say that, and I'm like, if you would have really broke, you'd have really changed.
Yeah.
If you really hit rock bottom, let me tell you, most of these people that say they hit rock bottom don't realize there's a shovel sitting right beside them. Mm-hmm. You can get deeper. Because I swore I kept hitting it. But
right.
I rubbed that shovel down to where it wasn't nothing but a stick. Then I started using a stick to use the dig.
Right.
So people, and then now I even say, after I got to the end of the stick, I finally quit. And in all reality, I could have kept digging with my hands.
Yeah.
Until you're in the grave.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. Like, rock bottom to everybody is different. Rock bottom is one of them things to where when you hit it, you're really going to know. You're really going to be able to.
Right. And we're all so different as human beings. What your rock bottom is may be my two slight inconveniences, depending on how strong you are,
Yeah.
And I think that's why Appalachia has been so heavily hit with the opioid crisis and with... I
don't have the picture saved, but you're going to be able to get on my Facebook. I'll tag you in. The sheriff was just at my dad's house the other day.
Oh, I love that.
He with 6 or 7 officers.
Oh.
And I'm in Pittsburgh, and I get a video. My dad don't ever video call me while I'm at work.
Yeah.
And he's got this big grin on his face. And he was like, there's somebody here who wants to talk to you. And he turns the phone around, and there's a big post about it. And, he turns the phone around, and Jersey has got all these new sheriffs up here that he's training, and it's like, I just wanted him to see what real change looked like.
That's beautiful.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, my dad's crying his eyes out over it.
Yeah.
You know, anytime there was ever cops showing up to my house, they was looking at
bad news, right?
yeah, it happened 100 times in my life. Right?
Now I bet your dad's heart dropped when he saw them all at the door before he realized what was going on.
Now, like for once, like he knows where I'm at.
Yeah.
He's been through enough with me, and he in his head he knew like either it's something from a past or something's going on. And,
yeah.
He don't have them thoughts anymore.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Like finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Almost 42 years into it. He can finally look at me and be happy with what's going on.
Right. I'm glad that you have been able to mend that relationship because, like you said, with your mother, with the the criminal past and the addiction and stuff like that. Sometimes when people choose to just stay in that life until it does kill them, it's so hard to connect with them and get that relationship that our hearts desire so much in order to heal.
Yeah. I still long for my mom. It's my mom. But I'm just more than likely she's going to die and we're going to be on bad terms.
Yeah.
It's going to crush me. Because she was always my rock, but what I didn't realize, and a lot of people's going to hear this, it's going to hurt some feelings, but she was also always running from her own demons and enabling me to be as toxic as I wanted to be.
Right.
And when I got out of the hospital, that's where I went. Last year I went to North Carolina down there. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to try to help myself and save my mom. I had a life vest on because they were still, even when I got to the hospital, they was for sure I wasn't going to make it.
Right.
So I had to wear one of the vests to shock you back to life when you fell over. And I got hit a few times. Got them things ain't cool.
Not a good time.
No, they ain't. But as soon as I get down there, my sister's there. And my sister's alcoholic, and she's struggling with her own demons. She's got problems just like everybody else, but she's not dealing with them right.
Yeah.
And my mom had a hard life, and she probably had a harder life than I did.
Yeah.
And that's saying something to look back now. And she's not learning how to cope or deal with it.
I shared a post this morning, and if people who follow me on social media, you'll see it. We lost my aunt yesterday. All said and done, alcohol is what got her. And as a child, I remember, and I'm named after her. My middle name is Carol, and that's her name. And so as a child, I just remember looking up to her because she was the one out of our family that kind of moved away and made something of herself. She was a Sunday school teacher. She had this great marriage. She owned businesses like a strip mall with like laundromats and little stores and stuff like that. And they had a boat that they went out on the weekends. And I didn't know anything like that. Yeah.
That was life.
I didn't know anything about what that looked like. So I just thought like she made it. But looking back now, becoming 40 and losing my mom, and it's made me really dig deep of like why couldn't they be the mothers, like my aunt, my mom specifically, why couldn't they be the mothers to us that we deserved? But the point is they were never given those tools.
That's why I'm not mad at my mom.
Yeah, you can't be. You can't hold that grudge.
She loves in her own way, and it's not the correct way, but it's
the only way they knew.
It's what she knew.
That's exactly it.
And it's just hard. Going down there last year, the first thing she did, she had me hiding her pills. She still gets pills, so she had me hiding her pills, and I'm sitting there trying to save my life, coming just months off of being a full-blown $1,000 a day heroin user, and it's stemming from pills, and to having here's a couple hundred bills to hide for me, so your sister don't take them all or steal them all.
Right.
I don't need them all, so we can try to stretch them out through the month. And I'm laying in here dying, literally. And that's when I made the choice to get up. I started going to a Suboxone clinic then. I made a poor choice, and I'm gonna say it. And if you can get around taking Suboxone, people you listen to this, don't take it. But if it's a must, take it. And I ended up being on it for like 18 months. And I finally just got up and I got tired. I got tired of it too.
Yeah.
Because I realized
That's like I obviously I'm not an addict, so I can't speak from that point of view. But it seems like keeping up with the clinics and when they open and the hours and all that, like that's a lot of work in of itself. Just to be able to get by from not being dope sick.
But what you got to realize is, when you're chasing that dope every day, it's an everyday, all day, constant affair. So
yeah,
it actually like substitutes. It's just that substitute again. Like it gets to the point where you're exchanging, having to get up in the morning, go break the law, steal something, sell something, do something.
Instead, you're going to get in line.
Instead, you're going to get in line. So it's you're just substituting one for the other.
Yeah.
So the time waiting in the line when you're talking to all the other lifelong addicts there, all of it just feeds into that same persona.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of it. I immediately, like, dealing with the clinic, I had to work out of town. They didn't want me to be working out of town. How you going to tell me, like, I got a good job?
Yeah.
I work for U.S. Steel.
I got to live.
Yeah, it's like, so I talked to my boss. I was like, I may need a week or two off. I was like, but I'm going to try to walk this out. And, Suboxone, and they ended up giving me a shot, the Suboxone shot. And it lasts a week. It's all it lasted.
Yeah.
And Suboxone and methadone are, like, real hard to come off of. It, like,
I've heard that.
It takes forever to withdraw your system. So I spent like 2 months sick and didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word, but I walked the plumb out. And everybody's like, how'd you do it? I was like,
you wanted it.
Will and determination's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because I was sick the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2 months I was quiet, didn't say nothing, just couldn't hardly eat.
Yeah.
I'm driving a truck as big as it's
right.
a big vacuum truck.
Right.
I'm having to pay attention to everything I'm doing and feel bad on top of it. But
yeah.
Yeah, it just comes to the point of one. Are you tired of it or not? Or did you really hit that rock bottom or not? Did you accept the fact that you're going to be an addict the rest of your life or not? Because I didn't. I hate being a loser. The one thing in life that's always been like my thing is I hate losing at anything.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a sore loser. And I felt like I was losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was losing the battle. And even with, using the Suboxone, I still felt like I was letting the government control the battle that I was fighting.
Right. So, it's an interesting standpoint to have.
Yeah, and I decided to quit losing.
It's so interesting to me, the divide amongst addicts and people who aren't addicts as well. If Suboxone is the answer, it's divided. It's one side or the other.
But here's the answer to that. If you know that you can't beat it, use it.
Yeah, if it's the way to stay alive.
If you're willing to be honest with yourself, and this is the best life that you can live, because if not, you're going to go back because you can't beat it. Absolutely, 100% take it. But give yourself the chance first. Yeah,
see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Might surprise yourself.
Yeah, I did. I swore to God I'd be dead or back in jail, and here I am sitting with you.
Telling your story.
Yeah, telling my story. So it's definitely changing.
Absolutely.
Change your guards.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like for you, if you don't care to share, tell me about a time that you most regret during your active addiction.
Most regret. Probably leaving my son at daycare once. It's a small story, but
yeah,
I chose my addiction, and his mom, they ended up calling. He was there like an hour longer than anybody else. This was like the one that hit me the hardest.
Yeah.
And he was like 5 or 6 at the time, so he was old enough. He was a dad.
He knew something was up.
Oh yeah, and this is how I knew that like the choices was finally being made. That everything I was doing was going to crash my life. And it's when I pulled away from my son and my child's mother. It was that day. It's still, and it's been 16 years ago. He's 21 now.
Yeah.
And I remember that day still, like, that's the first thing that flashed in my mind, because that's the day I knew that I was choosing addiction
Yeah.
over everything in life.
Yeah. When you can do something over your child, I can't even imagine. Because that is the kind of thing that sticks with you. Because even has nothing to do with addiction, but if I'm 10 minutes late running behind because I got in a wreck or something, I feel like the mom guilt so bad. So I can't even imagine it being
I never
for a
felt guilty
choice.
for robbing other drug dealers or
Right.
any of the mayhem that come with it. I physically hurt people, but they was bad people just like I was. It was my kids.
Yeah. I get that.
You know, everything to do with my kids.
100%. What does recovery really look like day to day for you?
Oh, it's a struggle every day. Yeah, I'm almost 2 years in. I don't care. It's a battle every day. And, you know, coming off the Suboxone and stuff, that's when I realized it. If you're really going to fight, get really sober. And, you know, I drink some, but I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink to get drunk. I don't do, like, everyday partying. But using a needle every day and shooting, like I said, I was shooting the last probably year and a half of my addiction. I was probably doing 8 to 10 grams of heroin a day and probably 4 or 5 grams of ice with it. Same time, I'm a speedball junkie.
Right, yeah.
So
The fact that you're alive today is like
12
astounding.
Times. Yeah, 12 times I've either overdosed or been pronounced dead. 12 times. They either told me I wasn't going to make it to the morning, or I've been Narcan 7 times.
Yeah.
I can't, like, it's been stabbed 7 times. I had my throat cut. Like, I can, there's so much to it that it's not even like just the amount of everything I went through for being an addict. Even when I got stabbed, they stabbed me 7 times. I got up off the floor, took the 80s I had out of my pocket, lung collapsed, throat cut, and hid the 80s under the sole of my shoe and fell back out. Went to jail for 2.5 years, and then went straight back to the police department and got my stuff so I could get the pills that was still in my stuff.
Holy moly. Yeah. And they were still there?
Yeah, absolutely.
They hadn't even checked your stuff to...
Well, I just got stabbed 7 times. So they cut everything off me.
Right.
And it just went into evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
that's wild.
Then I wouldn't even press charges on the dude because, I'm in the street mentality, you don't tell.
Yep.
So...
keep your mouth shut.
Victim of a violent crime fund, I was looking at $200,000 and some because a dude stabbed me at the bar when I was working.
Mm-hmm.
And because my street mentality and being a drug addict, I let him walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to court on him or nothing.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in Appalachia as well. I think the whole mentality of the snitches get stitches runs deep.
I mean, it does, but nowadays, like, the sad thing is, everybody says it, but that's not the case.
It's not. People will turn right now.
Yes, they do, absolutely. Like, being in prison here lately, I've been out since 21. It's not lately no more. It's been a few years. But the last run in the prison, some of the gang literature now in their own bylaws, that they're allowed to tell on people as long as it's not their own brothers or gang members. Yeah, like, it's getting serious. Like, people... You hear people say that, but in all honesty anymore, it's a dog-eat-dog world, period.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. That's why I told you before we started recording, I work a lot with the police department, and you hear bits and pieces, like when something crazy happens in town, and finally you get to have that sit down. What really happened? Like, what went on, Oh, we knew from the get-go, because immediately we got 3 phone calls telling us exactly what happened. Yeah. We just had to watch them for a couple of days and, check the facts. And But they know. They know immediately. Sometimes they know before it even happens. They were probably watching and didn't do shit about it because they're trying to build a case for something else.
Yes. Sometimes if in that world and in the street life, if you're smart enough to sit back and think that these drug dealers have been selling drugs in the same spot, same location for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and are not working with the police.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You're living in an alter. Yeah, you're living in a dream world.
It's an alter ego. Like, there's no way, because in this life, they're not going to want to be dope sick. They're not going to go without it. The first time you piss them off, don't give them nothing, they're going to tell on you. And then you've been out here doing this long.
Yeah. You're talking to somebody.
Something's going on.
100%. So talk about, over the years, your relapses, the accountability you had for those relapses, and rebuilding the trust with the people that you care about in your family.
Well, let me be honest. The relapses was only because I went to prison. I never stopped getting high.
Yeah.
This is the first and only time. I could like it a few times and said it, but I chased dope from the time I was 12, 13 years old when I started doing meth.
Mm-hmm.
And, back then the meth was really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Until Valentine's Day a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Even in prison. Fought people, hurt people, was facing life sentences. Inside, beat people up so bad inside. A couple people died. Crazy stuff happened. I was high then.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's probably the first time I've ever admitted it. But
well, I hate this narrative that everyone thinks that we're going to arrest our way to recovery.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen. The drugs are so much more easy attainable in jails. From what I've educated myself on,
they're giving them Suboxone at the cart now.
Yeah,
you can come in on nothing.
It's wild.
And just doing other drugs, they're giving them Suboxone at the cart
because we're getting you into recovery.
Yeah,
that was my air quotes. You guys can't see that at home, but
that amazed me. I was like you dry detox people to killing them here just 10 years ago. Now you're literally, if they're on meth or they're on, if you're on anything other than heroin, you should not be put on an opiate drug.
Right.
So you're going to jail with a mental addiction that you could clear with maybe some sleep and some help.
Yeah.
And then you're coming out with an opiate addiction.
Yeah.
So now they just made you a speedball junkie because now you're chasing opiates and
right. I was really shocked. I'm not going to say who. It's their story to tell, not me, or not mine. But a girl I know was in jail, had never used drugs in her life. Probably, she smoked weed and in college, like she dabbled and stuff, but never had a problem. I pick her up from jail, and one of the second or third things she told me, I tried heroin. I just wanted to die in there. It was so miserable. It was so bad. She said, you can't be honest and tell them what your mental state is, because then they put you in the hole because you're suicide watch.
Yep. Put you in pickle suit.
Yeah.
They take all your stuff from you, and all you guys are paper down, and you're freezing to death. Yeah.
Well, and she was telling me specifically, I'm not even going to say what state she was in because that'll give it away of who it is, but said there was literally a hole in the floor, like a drain. That was her bathroom. For number one, number two, no toilet paper in there. You would have to tell them, hey, I used the bathroom, I need a shower now, or something like that.
Pickle suit? Yeah, you get put in a pickle tank.
It's crazy. But I was like, how the hell did you get your hand on it? And she was like, I wanted to die. She was like, you hear all these stories of these people just dying from one-time use. She said, I was hoping I was going to be the one.
Yeah, you still see even here locally lately. There's been people overdose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that is a narrative.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to arrest our way out of this problem.
Even with the Suboxone, if they cheek it long enough,
it's crazy that so much of this is common knowledge, but none of, in an official capacity, nothing's changing.
What do you mean? They need the revolving door. They need the money.
Oh,
they need
you're right. You're right.
They need this to happen, because if not, you can't have a whole woke.
That funding goes bye-bye.
Yeah, you can't have a whole woke community, because then everybody realizes what you're doing, and
you're right. I never thought of it in that way.
It can't get the funding. It can't get. You have to have the revolving door to create one of the largest jobs in Appalachia.
Yep.
Is the Department of Corrections and the prison system.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a mess.
Yeah, coal mines is dead now. What do you like around here? It's a reason.
You're right.
They say Big Pharma did it. Well, they're still doing it. They just switched to doing it in the jails now.
Yep.
So now you're using the recovery. Oh, we're getting them into recovery. So we're going to give them Suboxone, and we're going to give them Subutex, and we're going to give them these shots, and we're going to do all this stuff to help them. Well, if you would just give them the real help they need.
Right. You just
there's not no money in it.
Pay for some damn therapy and give them the time that they deserve with that therapist.
You just said pay.
Yep.
You got to pay to help them.
Yep. Instead
of getting paid to help them.
Right. Again, that was some air quotes, guys.
Yeah, you don't realize they've not gave up. the world's going to keep functioning how it functions.
Yeah.
It's crowd control.
Yeah.
They need everybody to overdose, and it creates that revolve.
Yeah, and I really think, and then that's a big reason why I wanted to do this episode. And I remember you asked me, you were like, "Why me? Why me?" And I was like, "Well, you're honest.
Yeah,
you're honest about your story, about your addiction, about your recovery, and we're gonna have to, as a community, or in each of our communities. You know, you're from a different area than I am, but we're gonna have people that are advocating in a way that these younger generations have the tools that they need to be like, hell no, I'm not touching that. Like, I know what that outcome is.
I was such the bad person in my community. Like, nobody wanted to be around me.
Yeah.
Like, still, they're scared of me because of the choices I made and did. Like, families, kids, people like that don't change is what everybody says. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm still me. You see what I post. I'm still goofy as hell. I never lost my mentality of like what I was before all this. When, you know, just being a jokester and making people laugh and trying to be funny. But I will hit them with some of the realest conversations you'll have. And I had to learn that there's got to be a balance in there, in life. But when you become that stigma of your area, and then they see how you're living day to day, and it becomes like, you know, I can just openly sit and talk about the mayhem now.
Right.
And now, like, it enthralls people to have the conversation with me because you can ask a question and get a real answer.
Right.
You're not going to get that from most people. And when you're asking questions that, like, most people really would even be scared to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, depending on where they are in their journey, you want to kind of tiptoe because you don't want to be that trigger that sends them down that hole of thinking about those bad, because maybe they don't focus on those. You know, maybe that's their coping mechanism for the time being to get themselves sober. You know, and you don't want to trigger that. I know with like family members of mine, my grandma would always say, you know, well, we don't talk about that. We don't discuss that. That's their business. Blah blah blah. You know, and I'm like, now as I'm older, I'm like, we have to talk about it. It's got to be a conversation, or we're gonna keep losing everyone.
The reason why it's still, even the people that get the right type of help, the problem is they're not getting the mental help, and they're not. People are getting sober and thinking that's what the thing to do is. Getting sober is just getting sober. If you got sober just to get sober and not make amends for what you've done,
probably not going to last.
And make amends with yourself. Whatever it is that's caused you to create the problem in your head, sooner or later it becomes your problem. Right. I don't care what it called, childhood trauma, what it was, anything in life. Yeah. Sooner or later it becomes your problem.
Yeah. And it always catches up.
And if you don't deal with it, then you're just waiting on the next problem to arise so you can relapse.
Right. Yeah, it was my husband and I this morning, we were watching the Today Show because we're old people now. That's who we are he's in his late 30s, I'm in my early 40s. I know, right? Yeah. So we're watching it, and they're talking about their New Year's resolutions and stuff. And
New Year, new me.
Yeah, so he's a smart ass. Like, he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I'm so thankful for him. But again, we come from two different worlds. So he looks over at me, being a smart ass that he is, and he says, "What's your New Year's resolution? You gonna drink less Coke and eat less fudge rounds?" Blah blah blah. Because like I'm a sweets junkie. Like I 100% is. But I'm always like, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna quit buying them. I'm gonna be healthier. You know, I'm not gonna do. I want to do that, but I'm not gonna do it. But I you know, there was a moment of just this raw feeling in me, and I looked over at him and I said, you know, I want to be less depressed. That's my goal for this year, because I've had tremendous loss in the last 3 years, and I've dealt with so much, and I never felt. I knew what depression was, and I've saw other people struggle with it, but until I struggled with it myself, I didn't understand how hard it is to like fucking open your eyes put your legs over the side of the bed, get up, take a shower.
Yeah,
man. Like it's hard. And, again, he's a smart ass, and he said, you just got to fight through it. And I said, that is the stupidest fucking thing you could ever say. I said, please never say that to anyone else. I said, I know that you're joking. I said, but somebody may not. I said, and that is not the answer, the push through it. I said, because depression, yes, there's medicines for it, but you have to be careful, again, with Big Pharma of what they're putting you on, because then your body becomes addicted to it and you can't function without it. And that's nowhere that you want to be. I don't think as a society, it's great that these medicines exist, but
is it?
For some
Come on
people,
now, listen,
maybe.
We've been on this planet how many years?
You're right.
Since when did medicine come into play?
You're right. I didn't think of it that way. You're right.
When it was herbs.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
When
they went for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years without it.
Yeah.
And you didn't have this shit.
And didn't have none of this.
You didn't have none of it. People thrived. They were hard workers. They lived long lives, So I just looked at him and I was like, that's the dumbest thing that you could ever say to someone. I said, please don't repeat that again. But in those moments of raw honesty, you almost feel naked. To say that. And it's very, very hard to say it to your significant other, that, the one person that you don't want to burden with that mental health and those traumas, and where we do come from two different worlds. Sometimes I'm like, man, what if he just decides, and we've been together 20 years, so I know this is me in my own head. I'm like, what if he decides he hates me? Like, what if he don't want to handle my drama, or my not even drama, my trauma? What if he's tired of seeing me cry? Like, what if he's tired of my sadness,
I go through it. I still have relationship problems because I don't know how to deal with people. I don't know how to communicate.
Me neither.
I was just with the one girl. I mean, her just split up, and I just really, the stuff I don't think there's anything wrong with, I got to take a step back and look at and realize, like, damn, that's kind of assholeish. It just takes me a while to comprehend because of the craziness in all the life, and like, people think they've seen I had a hard lifestyle and stuff too, and they think the same way, and then they realize that everybody's brain process is different.
Absolutely.
And I've realized that I'm a very hard person to deal with, and I have that same thought you just said, like, with everybody now.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's friends, family.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything I ever had, I lost, and everything I loved did me wrong. It's just them thoughts. I don't care if it's 20 years or it's been 40 for me, and I'm still having the same thoughts. Yeah. And the people I got around me now, like, I know love me, like my friends and family and stuff. So I know, I relationships is going to be a hard. That's always going to be a hard part for me because of what I went through.
I can relate to that.
Call it mommy issues.
That's 100%. 100%.
I'm gonna say mommy issues
because that really is what, and I hate this word, but that's, for lack of any other better word to use, that's what triggered a lot of my mental health stuff that I've been shifting through. Is when I lost my mom, and kind of we didn't, when I lost her, we weren't on good terms.
Yeah, so you know where
it's a mind fuck.
I'm at right now, and I just wish mine happy Mother's Day this year. Trying to talk to her, and she wouldn't even answer me. Like, she'll talk to my son. He just went down there and seen her for a few days, but he come back to and was like, said they look bad.
Yeah.
He was like, Dad, she'll be dead. So,
it's hard for him to see that.
We're on bad terms. And like, I felt like the mother's love that I had is not what I'm able to show other women. Like, now the little bit of like motherly love that I have, that I know how to show a little bit of, is from my grandmother.
Yeah, same.
And she was my rock.
Yeah.
She'd been dead for 13 years now, in just a few weeks. Like I said, right around my birthday.
Yeah.
So, she was the rock of the fammy.
Yep. Yeah. Same. Grandmas they have that. My grandma was fucking tough, man. She raised all 9 kids of all the 9 kids on her own, and she lost her husband very early on. They were an army family anyway, so she never had a career. She never finished her education. So she was the local caretaker. She was the local waitress, cook. In the diner.
Yeah, Mama was just the local legend. Mama was like, She was very old. I lost my papa when I was young. I didn't even really get to know him. I was young. He was early 90s. He died of Alzheimer's. All I can really
That's what we lost my grandmother to.
Yeah,
That's a rough disease.
That's all I can remember is him forgetting stuff.
Yeah.
But he would bounce me on his knee.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember, just it making me giggle.
Yeah.
I was young.
I love those kind of memories that you can latch onto like that, because you literally said that out and I can feel it in my brain.
Yeah,
like,
it makes me giggle now.
Yeah.
That's all I think about.
It was so fun, and like sliding down their legs.
He was a good man. And, Mama, even when she died, they told her they might be able to give her another year or so, chemo, couple, maybe 5, if it went well. And she literally looked at us and was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, I've lived my life.
Yeah, just as
I did my job.
Nonchalant as possible.
That was my grandma.
Nothing. I was like, it flabbergasted me. But to sit and look at it now, I was like, she went out like a gangster like that.
Yeah, she did.
If it come to it in life, I made my choice. If they ever tell me that again and I'm on that time, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
Watching how strong she said it and was like, I want to go see Papa.
Yeah, she was ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she went out on her own terms.
Yep.
If you're saying you're going to die and you say that you wouldn't want to go out on your own terms, I would say you're lying.
100%.
If you're able to just sit and make a choice and look at your family and the people you love you around you and be like, well, I'm going to die on my own terms.
All right.
I would say that that's a win.
Yeah. And not to go down another rabbit hole here, and it's controversial, and I always worry when I share these personal opinions with my listeners, because I know a lot of them don't share the same ones as me, and that's okay. We can all disagree or agree to disagree, but that's where another facet of recovery comes into play for me, and with religion is the idea that now these businesses exist to come in, and essentially it's a hospice, but it's not ran by the government. Mm-hmm. But they'll help you die in a dignified way, and it's so controversial with religion, especially of that's not God's way. You're going to hell if you choose to do that. And I'm like, man, get out of here, because if I have the option to die a peaceful death, I'm going to take that.
The one that got it started that was in the court, whenever, just a few years
mm-hmm.
ago. I kept up with that. I forget the dude's name, but and they finally let him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in my head, the case he was making in court. He was like, "How can you tell me that I've got?" He had just had a few months left, and it's going to be because he had whatever disease was going to hurt him. As we had a horrible death,
mm-hmm.
and not be able to go out on my own by the hands of a medicated doctor in my house. And they ended up still not letting the doctor do it. He went home and did it himself or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just letting him do it himself at home. I was like, man. Yeah,
and we shouldn't have to fight for that right. We really shouldn't, because, I
mean, if there's no other way and you're making a choice,
mm-hmm.
your family's okay with it, I don't understand what the...
Right.
Shouldn't be an issue.
I agree 100%. To share a little bit of how fucked up my family is. Again, I don't share a whole lot of this on the podcast, but my uncle, my last remaining uncle, he's a piece of crap. He really is. He's always been. He's never held a job. He's never been a good dad to us. He never had drug problems or anything.
I was that dude. I was that guy.
He's just always been a loser, for lack of any other way to put it. And, he decided he wanted my aunt, who was dying. Well, her trailer looks real nice out there. I've never owned my own house. When she dies, if I take care of her, who's going to get that? Me, So he decides to take her in, and we get her in hospice, and we're doing all the things we're supposed to do as a supportive family and trying to have her have this dignified death. And he's bringing her alcohol and cigarettes into the hospice house, the two things you're not allowed to have, which seems kind of silly to me if you're in hospice. Let people have what the fuck they want to have to go peacefully.
Yeah.
But so she gets kicked out of the program, not once but twice. And so he takes her home, and she was given just a couple months, which we didn't think she'd make it that long, and she didn't. But this asshole shoots a video of her taking her last breath and shares it to all of us in the family before the funeral home has even come and got her body. And I'm like, what a piece of shit. Like I've never had so much anger in my life.
That right there, I don't even know.
Like he took every shred of her dignity away.
That would
I haven't spoke to him. When I see him, if I see him, I hope I don't. I don't know how I'll handle myself.
Yeah, I was a violent man for a long time, and like when it comes to family, that's probably the only thing left in the world that I'll be violent over. Like,
yep.
I don't fight people anymore. Like, you literally got to put your hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I cage fought, boxed.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time. I can handle myself with the best of them.
Right.
15 years in prison.
I mean, I'm 5'0". I don't know how much I can handle myself, but I may come unglued.
Your family,
yeah,
it don't matter. You're still flipping that switch.
Oh man, I just think it's such a disgusting thing. But I think as Appalachians, we have to share these stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, because if not, we really can't heal.
If not, you're sugarcoating what's going on here.
That's true.
You're not relating to half the people out here. You're not broadening the audience. You're not, because if you're not relating to what's really going on around here, you're not going to be speaking to nobody but a few people.
Right.
Because everybody around here has been affected by this stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the judges, the good people, the people that ain't never done it, that's getting robbed, their cars broke into. If you're telling me that it is not affecting everybody in our area, then I'm going to tell you that you live on a satellite on Mars. Right? You ain't from here. Y'all had the Oxycontin Express right here. We used to fly out right here and go to Florida.
Yep.
This whole area from here to even in the Beckley, like upper end of Beckley, it was all on the run. And the addiction is hit everybody. I don't care in one way or the other.
Yeah.
You got stuff stole from you. Your kids got sold dope. Somebody you know's died. The addiction has hit every part of our area. Every part.
Yeah, and and I tell that story about my uncle being the piece of shit that he is because I don't think a lot of people.
We call them good dudes nowadays. Just try to stretch it out. When the dude.
Good dude. I like that. I might steal that.
Yeah, that's so you don't have to say it in a bad way. You're like, nah, he's a good dude. When people understand, they're like, wait a minute, that's saying a little
hold
rough.
on, yeah. But the reason I share that is because I think specifically people who have not, and people who are lucky enough to have not been affected by trauma in their life, they need to know that there are people like this good dude, my uncle, that exist doing these like really shitty things, and then you're like, it's a mind fuck. It's like, why would you do that? That like I puked in my mouth. I didn't make the video lasted I think like 45 seconds. I made it 8 seconds in, and I puked in my mouth, and I was like, what a sick individual. And then I'm like, you know what? I have to like give myself graces, because I'm angry as fuck right now.
We're talking about it right now too, so you should realize that what happened to him in his life.
Exactly, and that's I made that post this morning about losing my aunt, and I said I wanted to get on there because there were several people that are quote unquote family that immediately run to social media to share, she's dead, blah blah blah. First of all, her house is sitting there alone in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, there's people like us right now. I'm telling you, that the worst thing they could have done. Used to be obituaries. Seeing it on there,
yep.
It's fresh.
Yep.
There, we would literally, we'd already been there.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck up, number one. Like, what a piece of crap you are. Number two, you sent that video to me. I thought I had him blocked on social media. So I don't know how he sent it to me. Well, he's blocked now for sure. But I thought I had him blocked before. But I'm like, how disgusting. Her grandkids and great grandkids didn't even know that she had passed yet, and he's out sending this video to people. And I'm like, I have to remind myself to give those graces, because these are the people that I grew up around. These are the people that I was supposed to look up to. And then I'm like, man, why is my brain so jumbled? Like, why am I fighting depression the way that I am? But it's like the weight of the world is on us to kind of change the narrative for not only ourselves but for our children. We don't want them to have that experience. We don't want them to see that ugly in the world like this man is, So I just think it's so important. And I, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I know this is not a typical Tri-State Time Machine piece, but if we're going to talk about our past and our future, we can't do that responsibly if we're not sharing it all.
Our area,
the good, the bad, the ugly.
Our area's dying, and a lot of this stuff is affecting it. You see the businesses are going, the money's going, you know, the coal mines are not as prevalent, you know, and it's became drugs. And if it continues to go that route, then what history are you going to have to talk about?
100%. 100%.
What history do we got left?
Yeah.
Then even the history we've got, we forget about because there's nobody out there that either wants to hear it, talk about it, because
they want to sweep it under the rug.
Hillbillies. That's them hillbillies. You know? That's the pillbillies.
And that's the thing, though. It's not. Since holding the positions that I've held in the city and being intertwined in social tiers that I wouldn't have ordinarily been involved in, people are still, you know, doing coke like it's the 80s, like it's no big deal, and they just don't talk about it. They're, you know, they're thirsty, so they're going into the kitchen and everybody's getting a drink together, or you know, like what the fuck? Like it's not the pillbillies anymore. It's not the ones from just out in Hollywood. It's, you know, the guy that's a lawyer that's representing you in court on Monday morning. Yeah. It's the doctor in the ER. Like this is not a poverty-stricken problem anymore.
I work in Pittsburgh 5 days a week, so, you know, larger cities, bigger area, but it's not as, like, metropolitan as, like, you know, New York, Detroit, or some of the other places I've been to. It's still stretched out enough that it's still similar to being down here somewhere.
Right.
Just more people. And, yeah, it's still prevalent. But you still, there's, like, 14 of us up there. We work for U.S. Steel, you know, largest steel factory in the nation. Most of us are all recovering addicts. I done got a bunch of us jobs. We're up here to change our lives, doing our thing.
Yeah. But I love that you're pulling people up with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If they want it.
Yeah.
If they want it.
They have to want it.
It's got to be, I don't do the nonchalant, half in between. I don't care. We can fist fight in the parking lot. We can do whatever the craziness is going to be, but we're going through it together.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so there's a group of us now, and a few of them ain't worked out. Most of them have, because you got to make good choices. But watching them big cities function, it's more prevalent. Like, and then you realize that people from down here, we're all different. Like all 14 of us up there are some of the hardest workers up there, and just our demeanor, because you know we're all from down here. And, the world of the Appalachians, and you know, each ship hit is always it's our go hard,
yes,
go Mountaineers, go Rat. Sweet Caroline's always gonna be the song,
always.
But they laugh and joke with us. It's good, and it's good nature, and it's fun. And you realize that even though you're, you know, because they're still Upper Appalachian too, and, they're still a lot like us. And it's good. It's good to be still 4 or 5 hours away from home. Yeah. And still know that this Appalachian Mountain, there's just something about it. Like, there's just something about it. And I've been all the way down into North Carolina with my mom and him, and still. Yep. And then it's just something about it. It's the water. It's something in the water.
I agree. 100%. I tell people all the time, you know, because I've lived all over the place, especially when I was younger. My mom would drag me to the next boyfriend's house that she met who knows where, you know. Yeah. And she always wanted to be, you know, the best mom in the world every time she got the new boyfriend. So, you know, she'd get me for a couple months until she was sick of me again. But I've lived all over, and I can't imagine living anywhere else, even with the good, the bad, the ugly. This is home.
Yeah, they did try to get me to move up here, and I stay in a hotel 5 days a week. And I've been doing 13, 14 months now, and no.
Right.
I will live and die in one of these hollers.
Yes.
And hopefully it's not, you know, anytime soon. But I love being the holler life, and this being close to town is cool. Yeah. Because I live right outside of Charleston, but I can literally walk out of my apartment and walk about 30 foot, and I'm on the side of the mountain. Yeah. And if I want to just take off for days, I could.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't want to have to walk out and have a flower pot for my front yard. Like, that's not ever going to be my life.
Yeah, that's been a hard. You have the give and take in relationships. That's been a hard part for me because my husband grew up, in town, and
he's a city boy.
He's a city boy. He's a city boy for sure. Which, I mean, you wouldn't know it by his work ethic, but so I'll give him that. But he definitely is a city boy, and
I mean, there's good aspects to that, and
100%, 100%. But we live in down near Cannon Park in Westmoreland.
I know where it's at.
And we have a big lot, but you can't walk out on your front porch in your underwear if you want to, like I grew up doing. You could do whatever you want. You want to have a big bonfire in the backyard, front yard, side yard, didn't matter. That's yours, and you can do it.
Yes.
You need to get rid of that old furniture. Good. Put it in a pile and light it on fire.
Yeah, wait for West Virginia to win.
But yeah, that's been an adjustment for me. It's very hard to navigate neighbors that are in your business, and I don't think they mean, because all of our neighbors are older, which is nice because they're quiet, but they're looking out for us. That's my air quotes again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, man, mind your business. I miss when nobody could be in my business because nobody's close enough to know about my business.
Yeah, back when you just had to have a mean dog.
Yeah.
You was far enough up the holler, you just kept a couple mean dogs. And
yes.
If there was anybody around, you knew.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or someone at the beginning of the holler was making the phone call to the one at the end of the holler. These people in this red sedan.
You hollered. What do you mean? It's called a holler because you hollered, girl.
Mine was too windy for that.
Nah, they just wasn't hollering loud enough.
Or jump on the four-wheeler and get to the next
really
house.
Started,
yeah.
People going up the road in a four-wheeler.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe a three-wheeler back then.
Well, yeah. I don't even want to talk about a three-wheeler. Those things. I'm surprised I'm not dead from those things. Talk about a little bit, if you don't care, about why you chose ultimately to share your story publicly on social media.
Well, I had so many friends that was in prison, still in prison, that I still talk to. I had so many people still out here struggling, and they were reaching out to me when I hit about my year mark, because it was just spotty until then, just talking about here and here. And people started reaching out when they really knew that I changed, because...
Do you want to know what's the secret?
Yeah, I mean, I've gave you...
How'd you do it?
I gave you a preliminary of the story, but the truthful of the story is I was probably one of the worst people you've ever met in life when it comes to addiction and the things I was doing. Mm-hmm. And everybody knew it. From how high I got to what I was doing in life. Police knew it. My family knew it. I was labeled as one of the most violent criminals in the state at one time, even while I was locked up. All this. So when I kept having to tell people that I changed my life, I got tired of having to tell, because that was my whole life.
Yeah.
It was 40 years of everybody I knew that this is what they knew about me.
They had that narrative already planted.
Yeah. It wasn't a narrative. It was the truth.
Yeah.
That was just the way it was. And when I hit that wall in the hospital and I realized that, like, I was going to have to change almost every aspect of the people, places, things, what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I got tired of having to explain to everybody separately.
Individually, yeah.
And I think that's still the reason why I continue, because it's like people are just waiting for me to fall apart, because they're like, no way you come out of doing murders and mayhem to making it in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they say it's just not possible, and
you're living proof.
So here's what I'm gonna continue to do, is just show them that simple thing my dad used to tell me, whether there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
And if you wanted to get up and get high in the morning, you had the will to get high, you was going to get high that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've had to realize.
Yeah.
Got to make choices every day. Still, I still fight demons every day. Don't say I don't, but I'm not a needle junkie. I'm not a heroin addict anymore. I'm not a meth addict anymore. And I get up and go to work every day, and I'm still learning how to be a good father. I'm still learning how to be a father to my daughter.
Yeah.
Because I never in her life, me and her mom was both addicts.
Yeah.
And it's just to let people know that the struggle is real. And matter of fact, the struggle's probably harder now than it was when I was getting high. I probably struggle more now than I
can see
ever
that.
did in life. And people don't like hearing that because they're like, you're doing great. And then every time I get said that, I thank them and I'm like, yeah, but then I give them the truth.
Yeah.
The struggle now is realer than because I could always run for it. Like, go back to prison. I could just hit the streets again. I could do this. I could do that. That's the easy way out. I lived like a king in prison. I just
respected and
yeah, I just it's a whole different aspect of
yeah.
being inside. And out here, in the beginning, that's the main thing I had to get out of my head. It's like, you're living like a peasant is how I felt. And then I realized, I was like, well, that's really about the best life. I mean, I'd never done none of this.
Yeah.
40 years. I'd never held down a real job. I'd never lived a real life. So now the normalcy is like what I crave.
There's a solace in it.
Just
Yep.
being normal, being out there, just trying to learn to be a normal person. And it's a learning curve for me because I feel like I just hit puberty. Yeah,
I get that.
Dealing with relationships, dealing with people, dealing with my family, dealing with friends, dealing with my kids. Like, sometimes I got to stop and be like, listen, I know y'all feel like I'm this old, but realize that I went from 15 to locked up, back out, back in and out for 15 years of my, my time in there. And then in the middle of all this, I was a drug addict.
Yeah.
I just decided to do all this shit 2 years ago. I know I'm 40 years old, but really it's me going back to 15 because them 30 years in there, 25 years in there are just a blur of chaos. And so when you get to sharing that stuff, people, I can't be it. It can't be done. You can't do it. And I'm telling you, if you want it bad enough,
it can be.
Yeah, you hit the rock bottom for real.
Yeah.
And that's why I share as much as I do. My dad tells me I should overshare sometimes, and I've dumbed it down. But there for 6-8 months, like I told the whole story out there. Like if people go back and actually read my post, it's just talking about everything. From the prison to my mom to just being with my kids, not being with my kids, trying to figure life out. Like I ran it down to them. I was like, I can't tell you what to do, but let me tell you, here's the what not to do.
Yeah, I know that part.
I'm gonna give you what not to do.
Yeah.
Because what not to do was this, because I did it and it don't work.
Yeah.
And I think I just continue to post so the journey is seen.
Yeah.
So there's just some aspect of somebody's life they can look at and be like, he ain't perfect.
But he's honest.
But he is far from what they swore he was going to be his whole life. Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that I struggle with is, especially like when I go back out into like Eastland and Wayne, everyone's all like, you're SFE's daughter, blah, blah, blah. And they've got this preconceived notion of what it must be like. And then what are you doing nowadays? And you tell them, well, I do this. This is my job, and I have these 2 children, and this is what they do. And it's like the look of shock on their face that like what? You don't live out here? No wonder I don't see you. Like you live in Huntington? Like what are you doing out there?
Yeah, I go through it. When I tell people now that I ain't seen him forever, because it just happened yesterday.
Yeah,
I seen somebody I hadn't seen in some years, and the last time I seen him, it wasn't no good time. And they immediately, like, as soon as they see me, hey, how you doing? You look a lot better? And it's like, don't worry, I'm doing a lot better too. And this is a person that I met in a moment in the middle of the street one day that just people could have died, bad situation, drug deal gone bad, and at the moment I was gonna kill him. And I made a choice that day not to. And I seen him yesterday for the first time since that. And I sit down and made amends with him, talked to him, give him a number to call a girl I know about getting a job.
Yeah. And that's like that's what I was going to say. That's all we can do is make the amends where we can, because not everybody is going to take it.
Some of them don't hear it.
Some of them don't.
Some don't hear it.
But the ones that do, it's nice for them to see that side of you that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
It's almost like that shock factor is everything in the moment. You're like,
yeah, it shocked the world out of him because he told me he was struggling. And he was like, he wants to boxing, but he's getting sober in his own way. Good for him. But he wasn't on the time as the last time I seen him. He was on a different time, and I could tell. Looked better, acted better, just like I do now.
Yeah.
So when I seen him, I just immediately wanted to apologize and talk to him and be like, bad choices was made that day, but no lives were lost. So here I am, and like, what's going on in your life? I started talking to him, and he was like, damn, you really have changed. And I was like, yeah. And then I got him in contact with a girl, and I don't go any farther than that. I give him the options and the outs to talk to people, because people trust me now. Mm-hmm. And I send him to a girl that'll give him a job. Yeah. And it's like delivery place.
It's rewarding to give them the opportunity to build those bridges. Whether they do build the bridge or not, you've laid the first board and put an L in it and said, here's the way, here's the step you can take. Yeah,
the girl I was seeing, like, me and her was fighting, and I went up to her house, just like the next after we got a fight, and because her brother was coming. Her brother's bad off as I was. Mm-hmm. Probably needs surgery, about to die, swelled up. And he was talking about wanting to go to rehab, so immediately I right then. I started calling people right then. I called people down here. I called people in Parkersburg.
Getting those connections lined up for him.
Yeah,
if he was ready.
Right in front of him. Did it right in front of him. And then he was like, "Well, my girl wants to go too." You know what? Let me catch you real quick. Yeah. I called California. So I give him the option right then. Give him the info, all the stuff. Yeah. Like, he still ain't win. He ain't ready, but
yeah.
Shout out to him. Hopefully, they might listen to this and he'll realize that, there's better things out there.
Yeah.
If it ain't him, somebody else will hear it. But there's couples rehabs. No matter what choice you want to make, it's there.
Yeah.
The help is there.
Mm-hmm.
In one way or the other. And then it'll get you strong enough to get on your feet. And I just say they're stepping stones. And a lot of people are using them as outs when they're really just a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. The next step is to really get really sober, then get your life right, and then get your head right. Mm-hmm. Like it's just a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are the goal is just to be sober.
Yeah.
And if your goal is just to be sober, well, you're still a piece of work most of the time.
Yeah.
Getting sober don't make you a better person.
I agree with that.
Yeah, getting sober does not make you a better person.
I agree with that 100%.
Getting sober just makes you sober.
See, that's kind of the boat that I'm in with the gentleman I was telling you about that got baptized. And I don't know him real well. I met him through other people, and I love his energy, and I love where his head seems to be at. But he's got, the rap sheet, man. Like it makes you, because he's very early in his recovery walk,
I'm 55 arrests, so
yeah. So it does, especially having children in your home.
I probably know him. If he's been in trouble, I probably know him.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But he seems wonderful, and I bet before the dark times in his life that he probably was a wonderful kid and a great guy. But you see his rap sheet and you're like, man, he's so early in his recovery journey. At any point, like I was talking about in that church, with all those people, at any point they could see, a ring on someone's finger or the offering plate being passed around.
Don't be the one to put that negative.
Well,
listen. That is the common thing.
You can't be naive when you're dealing.
It's not being naive.
Yeah, well,
it's just knowing what the possibility is.
Yeah,
but it's also knowing that you could go out here and get in a car wreck right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The narrative that needs to change is he making amends? This is how you feel.
See, and that's what I worry about.
That's where
he seems to be clinging to the people who are naive and see the best in everybody.
He's not making amends for.
He's not going around and going outside that comfort circle at all.
He's getting sober to get sober. And, just realize that when you'll know when they hit that point. Yeah. That's how people knew with me. There was a difference because 6 to 7 months is when the hard time comes. Mm-hmm. Well, instead of like relapsing and letting it hard time, I made a choice that was like, well, if I'm gonna struggle to still stay sober, then I need to figure out a better way to live and to function. And the only thing I could come up with was it was time to make amends for all the bad shit I did.
Yeah.
And, that's what I try to tell them. I was like, and it's an unpopular opinion, too. It's another one that's going to be rough felt.
Mm-hmm.
If you got sober just to get sober and not fix in your head what caused that, and then not fix what you made happen in other people's
lives, yeah.
You made a whole ripple effect with your addiction.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good or bad it was, or how much you think it didn't hurt anybody else, if you're not willing to calm those waters, then sooner or later that ripple effect comes back to you.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If there's not amends made, and you don't really change the person that you are, then sobriety is just that.
Yeah,
you're just waiting for the next
opportunity to
maybe not even, but just the next problem, because you're not creating positivity.
Yeah.
If you're not creating positivity, then what are you doing? You're living like the rest of the world.
You're right. You're 100% right. I'm glad we had this conversation today. I really am. Since starting your social media journey and, becoming a, quote unquote content creator.
Whatever they call them.
Yeah. Whatever. Have you received any messages or anything like that that's really stuck with you that just kind of reiterates back to you, like, I'm on the right course?
The reason why I've continued it, for sure, is the amount of people that I don't even know that's reached out to me over the past year.
Yeah.
And I'm talking people I've never spoke to a day in my life. I can go in my phone right now and pull up messages, page-long messages of just being like, I've been watching your story, your journey, and like how much it related to them, and family members. I did a post over a homeless art dude in Charleston that went viral. His daughters reached out to me. Like, I've been trying to figure something out with getting him help. He just got him an apartment. Wonderful artist. Had health problems, drug addiction, being a piece of shit and not a good father.
Yeah.
I went through it all. So those messages getting from people that I have all over the state. And matter of fact, went past that. It's multiple states now. From North Carolina to one out of Michigan, one out of New York. Have reached out just to, like, I've been invited to rehabs all over our area.
To speak and stuff.
Yeah. Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky. Got people everywhere now. And this is the first I've done any of this. And it's probably the start, because I told myself this year, like, it was time to open up about it. And that, on my hardest days, it's like that's when they come through.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm having the hardest moment, I swear it's like the universe says, got something for you.
That's we were talking about, like, how I told you that I believe in signs 100%, with the GPS taking you to the old dope house, and that's never happened before, ever.
Yeah, I'm a screenshot here.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I believe you 100%, but it's almost like it was like, it was something saying, let me put you in this right headspace, Adam. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be sharing that story today.
I giggled, and I saw immediately, like, I was like, there's no coincidences in life.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
There's no coincidences. Everything in life happens for a reason.
Yes. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that's still struggling today? What would be, like, your first advice to them that is struggling mentally with their addiction?
You're always going to struggle, even when you're not an addict.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to learn coping skills, and you're going to have to learn how to love yourself, are the first two things. And those two things transcend all the way, everything, and through till your death. And if you can't find a way to love yourself, then you'll never be able to give anybody any other type of love. And it's the hardest thing in the world to do, because you're not really taught how to love yourself growing up.
Yeah. A lot of
you're
yeah.
taught how to love other people. But when is anybody? I really don't care. You're taught how to love everything in life but yourself. And then when you become an addict and you start struggling, the one thing you need more than anything is to know how to love yourself. And
you weren't given those tools.
That becomes the problem. And if you're still struggling, well, just know you're always going to struggle. But the struggle should always be forward, not backwards.
Ooh, that's solid advice. It's really good advice. Really, really good advice. What would you say to families that are watching someone struggle?
Tough love hurts. But stop enabling them. Don't give up, but stop enabling.
Yeah.
And that's a hard pill for me to swallow, because I've had to realize that I had a lot of tough love and a lot of enabling, and enabling them is killing them. It's not fixing them. It's not helping them. And sometimes it takes a really rough moment. It did me. Here, you got 5 days left to live.
Yeah.
Nobody's here. Your family's not coming. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to be around you because of everything you've done in your life. And that's the tough love I got.
Yeah.
And
it's the reality check you needed. Yeah.
We're all hard-headed. We're Appalachian. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
The Appalachian Americans. You're hard-headed. You got to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience that we haven't talked about? Anything that's heavy on your heart that you feel like needs to be out there?
I just want whatever listeners you got out there to know, not everybody was raised the same, born the same, treated the same, or understands the same, or lives the same. And loving the world means loving every aspect of the world.
I like that.
Give people a chance, because my whole life I was that guy that you didn't want to be around. You didn't want to get caught in a dark alley with. You didn't want to have to deal with on a bad day. But my friends knew me, still to this day. I got one of the biggest hearts in the world. But if I met you on a bad note, so don't give up on the world, because the rest of the world's giving up on us.
It's heavy. You're right. All right, guys. I know this has been a long episode, but I hope you take the information, you sit with it, you really give it some true thought. Don't use your preconceived notions about what recovery is, what addiction is. Really sit with it, and if this resonates with you, share it with someone. If you think it may help someone, get it in their hands some way. Share it on social media. Everybody's got Facebook. Everybody's got a phone now. Everybody. Yeah. So there's no excuse. And I'm not saying share it because I want the shares. The shares, I mean, they're great if you're trying to make money. I don't make money here. This is for me to tell these Appalachian stories. That's what I feel like my calling has been with this podcast. So get it into the hands or the ears of anyone that you think needs to hear this. And we appreciate you guys. Adam, I appreciate you making the drive down. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Thank you for spending your time with us and spending your New Year's Day telling your story. I really think it's going to be impactful. And I think, like we've talked about many times, if this makes a difference in one person's life, then we've been successful.
We did something right.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
All right, guys. We appreciate you. We love you always, and we are out of here.